It's early in the morning and it's not Thursday, but I am Brent Leary.
Well, given everything I know, given the evidence at hand, however, mitigated by the fact it isn't Thursday and it isn't 3 p.m., I think I'm Paul Greenberg.
We'll just go with that hunch. And we will say we are the CRM players, bright eyed and bushy tailed. Or is that bushy
I wonder
eyed
how
and
many people
no
even know
tail?
where that comes from, if anyone even knows what bushy tailed means.
I really don't. I don't even know why I said it, but I
I
said it. So.
it's just, old expression from venerable people.
Well, we are the CRM players. Excuse me. And we are here for the Inbound 23 Keynote Watch Party.
Which
I'm trying to
apparently
think.
is going to start in 4 minutes and 26,
Yeah, kind of
25,
like this.
24 seconds.
I feel good because, uh, well, so far, no technical difficulties, but, the thing hasn't even started yet. So maybe I shouldn't feel good. But we're glad to be checking this out. Man, I think the last physical inbound I went to was definitely before the pandemic, probably like 2018, 2019.
I'll tell you a story, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong, but when I did my very first advisory session with HubSpot, decade and a half plus ago, I told them they should do a user conference, and they said they were going to. And the next year, they had inbound, and you know how many I've been to since? None ever. I literally
Well,
never went to an inbound, and I don't know if I can really make the claim, but I think I can make the claim I'm the one who suggested it in the first place, because they weren't, when I was talking to them, they thought, "Oh, good idea." Like, some reason they hadn't thought of it, which doesn't make much sense.
hmm.
But
Well, that was 2008 and I remember because I spoke at the very first one, and there was
yeah,
about maybe 200 people, and it was in some hotel up in Boston, of course. And I was already, starting to feel anxious just because it was up in Boston.
yeah,
But yeah, that was wow. It's what 15 years ago.
yeah.
15 years ago, yeah. And remember, there was a time where they sold the inbound conference off to that guy that the social media guy back then that was really popular, Brogan, Chris
Chris
Brogan,
Brogan.
in his he had some business, and they actually HubSpot actually sold the inbound conference brand to them, and then like a couple of years later they bought it back, and ever since they've been doing it. And of course, this is like the years before it became like, I don't know how many people they're expecting this time around, but I think the biggest one right before the pandemic, 20 something thousand. I don't know exactly. It was 20 something thousand, and which is very significant coming from like what it came from. So,
Well, they're what? Maybe $1 billion company, right?
yeah, they crossed over a billion revenue somewhere in the last year or two.
Yeah. So for $1 billion company to have 20,000 people at a conference is enormous.
Yeah,
It's
yeah, and
enormous.
it's always. I mean, they. Well, I'm guessing Dreamforce was probably beat them to this, but I remember one of the big catches that they got early was, I think, President Obama spoke at the con. I know Michelle Obama spoke, but
Yeah.
I think the president actually spoke there, and this was like really significant for a company that was pretty small at that time.
Well, you know what? Pay him. We'll do it.
Right? Yeah, you pay me two
Right.
hundred thousand, I'll be there, bright eyed and bushy tailed.
Yeah, that's right. In fact, I'll bushy tail and bushy eyebrow at that point. Right. So I mean, look, you've worked over the years and are closer to them than I am. I mean, I haven't really remained that close to them, partly due to them, I think, meaning they're lazy, and partly due to me, meaning I'm lazy. Right. So, but they are, I still remember and I still admire how powerful they are, at least on the marketing side of the CRM
Yeah.
suite. And also just on their own marketing. I still will never forget your your webinar with them that one year where they had like, I forget, you correct me if the numbers, but there were like 9,000 registrants and about 2,700 showed, and you were the fourth largest of the year, where most companies would. What were the? Do you remember that? What were the numbers?
It was so that was 2009, and I think
Okay,
like 6,300 registered,
that's what it was.
2,700
Yeah,
attended. But
2,754 to be
yeah,
exact.
this
I
is
do
back.
remember that.
I mean, this is back when webinars, like the kind of online stuff. I guess it's kind of relatively new, but I don't know how new it was. But at the time, they were getting numbers that didn't make any sense for webinars. Like, I think their biggest one, didn't they try to set the record and they got like 30,000 people on a webinar or something?
It was astonishing. Well, again, your number was amazing. I mean, 2,754 people. That number I do remember. I wasn't clear on the the registrants, but actually, if you think about it, it's even more. It's equally as impressive that I have 6,300 registrants. 2,754 of them showed up. I mean, it's not usually you get like 45%. You usually get like 25%. And you were the fourth largest. You weren't even the largest that year. You would be the largest in anyone else's, in the including Salesforce at that point in their life.
I think I was doing like something on social CRM, which back then that was everybody like, what is it? Oh my god! So wait a minute, I think we got some action here. Let me turn the sound up. Oh, look at they got a big audience.
They're probably not going to top Dreamforce though.
No, not nearly.
Woo!
They're a bit of a lagging audience there.
12,000 attendees in person in Boston.
Probably need a little more.
12,000.
It's a good number.
And we have over 100,000 joining us online from all over the world. Welcome.
Makes me feel insignificant.
I'm so excited that I get to talk with you all today.
Oh, let me go big screen here.
Yeah.
I know you think I'm only going to talk about AI, but I'm here to talk about something even bigger.
I doubt it, but
change. AI came in hot on the scene this year. And while we have seen major shifts in technology from cloud,
boy, she didn't waste any time getting into it.
I mean, none.
What makes this feel different is the speed of change.
Wow, looks great.
From the launch of ChatGPT to Bard to Llama to the exciting new ways in which we can use generative AI, more has happened in our industry in the past 9 months than other industries have
That
seen.
number's down. That ChatGPT number's down, remember?
Yeah.
Can you feel it?
It used to be 1.8.
Yeah.
I do remember. I lost that
Technology is changing.
Stump the Godfather. Brought to you by Microsoft Copilot.
So how we connect.
While we watch HubSpot Inbound.
Right.
I want to share my thoughts on how you can adapt and grow with these shifts. Now, a small confession. I'm an AI geek. While many people like to watch
Might
TED
want
Lasso,
to turn the maybe it's just my headphones, but the volume doesn't
videos
sound quite
on
loud enough.
neural networks and
It's
deep
as
learning.
high as I can get it.
I love
Okay.
it. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, it's just my headphones.
The way generative AI has really transformed the world that we live in this year has just been fascinating. And at the same time, a little daunting. So let's demystify AI. What exactly is AI? Why has it taken the world by storm this year? AI is not new. It's been around for decades. And in fact, predictive AI, the kind that forecasts future behavior based on data from the past, is ubiquitous. We love it. We depend on it. This is the intelligence that drives HBO to recommend Succession that you binge watched.
I'm only laughing because seeing that is something we depend on is really, really a bad example. This is the intelligence that HBO uses to have us watch Succession.
With those new white jeans.
That's something I totally depend on.
That
You
AI
should
is
spend
not new.
with a moment of
What
spin
has
here.
changed this year?
For
There is a new
Dutch.
kind. of AI
Dutch
called generative AI.
or German. I'm saying Dutch.
And in the
Let's stick with
most
Dutch.
simplest
Let us know
terms,
what it is, Sven.
instead of just analyzing the old data, generative AI can generate something new. AI has gotten really good at creating new things, new content.
Okay, we've already kind of gone over
Code,
this.
This
new
is
insights.
literally the same. You
Draft
little,
everything from
to
blog
be, this
posts to
is
biographies.
this is the rubber stamp
Generate
of the
everything
speech.
from
Yeah, this
data
is the
reports
canned.
to break
Yeah,
song.
it's just like, okay, what do we
For the
got that
first
everyone else
time,
has said so far?
AI has the potential to transform knowledge and creative work.
Uh,
That is a
the thing
profound
that I don't
change.
like about speeches like this generally
That
now,
means generative
especially,
AI is
they
moving
assume
us
the
from
audience knows
the age
nothing
of
about the
information
subject at all.
Yeah.
And
to
the very
age
fact they're in
of
the audience
intelligence.
probably means they know something
Now,
about
think
it.
about this.
Assume a little higher level of
The
Well,
internet
we're
gives
knowledge.
access to
we're in
information that's as simple as
September.
articles,
This
encyclopedia, right at
hit
our
late
fingertips.
November, and
Right.
every conference
It changed the
from
way we
then
live,
till
work,
now
and buy.
has done this part.
This
Now,
exact part.
generative AI is giving us access to intelligence.
Dutch.
And once
I was
again,
right.
the way we live, work, and buy will change. That's a big shift. How do we process that? Well, what if we put the word artificial aside for a moment?
And we're happy to have you
We
back,
focus
Sven.
on what's left,
Yeah,
intelligence.
you are on
Because at
vacation.
its core, that's the
You were
shift that's
missed.
happening with AI. We're going from acquiring information to acting on intelligence. And if you're a
Okay,
marketer
so
out
far
there,
not that
salesperson, a
riveting.
service rep out here, I know you're here.
All I'm glad is
What's
that
the
this
best
is
way to
not
use
decaf.
this intelligence? The answer is simple. The most intelligent way to use
You know
intelligence as a
what?
go-to-market professional is
Darmesh,
drive customer
for all his
connection.
quirks, was so not only
I want
informative
to
but
share a personal story.
entertaining. And
Yeah,
The
well,
power of this
he
intelligence
spoke
to
from him.
drive customer
The one thing you always learn as a speaker, and you know this, and I know this, you
My
kind of
home
speak from who you
is made
are,
up of 2
and then
teams,
Right.
you're
2
good.
warriors, 2
This one
cats.
is
It's just
reading.
absolute chaos.
Even if she's not
I
reading,
love it.
she's memorized.
yeah,
She's
it
Talk about
feels like
absolute
scripted,
chaos.
and
The
it's
much
this,
needed
and it's a
kitchen
script that
renovation
ChatGPT wrote,
in
and
the
it's
middle
the
of a
same
pandemic.
goddamn thing that
I know, that's a bold
ChatGPT
move,
wrote for
right?
everyone who said, "What are you?"
Life on the edge.
Right?
Now, when
it's
I first met
this
with this
is
contract and design firm, I was ready for
They're
mind-numbing
literally
information
not
package.
helpful either. It's not
What
helpful.
kind of layout
Not
you
at this
want,
no.
point.
color of
There's
tiles,
no
type
energy
of
here.
wood.
No, and the audience,
They didn't ask me
or
any
well,
of
because
these
the
questions.
audience that is
Instead,
listening has
they
been
actually
saturated with this
observed
stuff for
our
what,
chaos.
10 months?
They looked
Right.
at how we are using the same
Every
Saturated.
insights
every
and productivity
conference that you've
while
attended,
how
either
we come
virtually or in
together
person,
as a
has
family.
had this at the beginning.
And they
Exactly.
noticed
And the thing is, look, if it's not a tech conference,
because of
this would be
that,
an
they didn't
informative
just renovate
speech.
our
Right.
house.
But it's
Right.
a tech
They helped
conference.
us create.
Sorry. Not no knowledge, no pay no attention to your audience, just
And as
saying
a
the
customer,
things
what have I
that
been
you
ever,
think you
ever
need
since?
to say
Well,
to stamp yourself with
amazing.
Gen AI
I
as part of what you
have
do
been
to
their
make you
brand
as
champion,
cool and
their
as
number one
necessary,
fan,
quote
and I've
unquote,
talked about
as
them
every other tech
nonstop.
company on the planet at this point,
That
at least
is
in our
the
world.
power of acting on
Now
intelligence.
maybe we're a bit
We can connect
jaded because we go to a lot of these things and we've heard this over and over. Maybe this is it. I don't know. I don't. Maybe
Nah,
their audience has.
I don't think so.
if you
I don't
can
think so.
scale that type of connection.
She's also just
We're
using the
talking
words
maybe
too.
millions of your customers
Right. Yeah.
by
It's not
observing your
very
patterns,
energy
No,
infused.
well,
anticipating their
there's
needs,
nothing
and
particularly. I mean,
offering them
this is speech
insights
anyone could give exactly the
that's
way she's giving it.
possible with AI.
Mhm. Yeah.
I know some of you are
Yeah.
thinking, well, it's so great that you and your cats feel so connected with this company, Yamini. But really, does this connection matter? The answer is yes.
See, now here's the
Connection
difference. If somebody
matters
said, "Does this
because
connection
it
matter?" You
drives
don't go,
growth.
"The answer is yes." You go, "Yes, it matters."
This is
Right? I
why
mean,
I'm
make it.
personally
Don't make it
obsessed
like
with customer
third
connection.
party, for God's
Because in
sake.
order to help you all grow, we need to help you connect with your customers.
They're turning connection into a
For
business
HubSpot,
imperative,
this year we
which
took
is
a step back.
fine, but not a
We looked
third
at
party business imperative.
all of our customers who are
It's a human
growing more
imperative.
and how they are connecting with their customers.
God, I
And
hate speeches like this.
specifically, we looked at the growth
Disconnected.
in the number
This is a
of
disconnected
deals
speech.
won. Anybody care about winning deals here? Yeah.
I mean, it's dead in there. Look at that. It is dead.
And they look dead too. Look at these people. They look like, when is this going to be over?
See, that's it's. I will say this: she has from all appearances has done a really good job as CEO.
Yep.
But there's something about a CEO that has something, whether it's a Benioff or a Dharmesh, he was a CTO, but he's a co-founder.
Right.
So that is can bring their own kind of pizzazz to a presentation where it doesn't feel like it's kind of presentation by numbers or
Yeah. Well, basically, she is. You could plug in anybody to do this exact same presentation the way she's doing it. That's to your point. I mean, I agree. There's nothing of her in this.
Customer connection.
It's like the thing with Adobe. Shantanu typically goes for like 5 or 10 minutes, then he goes. That works.
Yeah.
If you don't have that kind of presentation magnetism, so to speak, it's okay to hand it off. I think it's good to hand it off to somebody who can actually, because that audience, that shot was really bad.
Well, listen, I mean, unless they have amazingly good, overly hyper focused super cardioid mics there, meaning they're blocking that all external other sound is missing. Which should actually be a mistake technically, because you want to hear a little audience noise on these things.
Right.
So it would be
You
a
want to feel the energy.
Yeah. There's nothing. So maybe there's a technical issue with the way they set the mics up.
Customer behavioral changes over the last year or two.
Better, faster, cheaper, and more personal. That's what they want.
I like
Buying
that company
process is becoming
idea.
more involved for our buyers. Conversely, the information, the content that is available
this is a good
on
idea.
the internet has gotten worse over the years.
Customers are having so many different sources for information. A lot of it's highly indexed on social media.
I think you can't be just in one place at one time. You are expected to be in all the places at all times.
Customers are looking for more information.
Everybody's in their home office. You see that?
Yeah. Yep.
Not just a sales pitch.
Generative AI gives us an opportunity.
Well, his may or may not be. Yeah. It's 50-50 on that one.
It's all about understanding the customer.
He's got a background. So.
Well, with a company like Adeo, it could very well be that is his home office, just because those guys are so creative.
Understand the entire person. And
I love that company. I love.
Where we can be a better partner, be a more human partner, and engage in the moments that matter.
Oh, they're dead in there. Look at that.
I know. Well, it's funny. I'm thinking there, okay, if we're going to be analysts, we have to talk to the message, but the message is so friggin' bland that it's like there's nothing to talk to. We've already talked to this on every other watch party we've done. Yes, Gen AI is a big deal, and yes, connection's really important, but it's not just business connections, human connection, and it's not here.
So let's
Not happening here.
Into the customer journey, and let's start with the discover stage. Now, discover.
Oh, come on.
See, this isn't really the CEO level.
No. What she's and not only that, she's talking about a customer journey that was from like 2000 and 2003.
Because customers are discovering
research, buy, blah, blah, blah. I mean, that's not how it works anymore. The journey is dynamic now. It doesn't have perfectly defined stages. That's what even in 2012 I was saying things like, well, that's the journey, the buyer's journey. I wish that's the buyer's. I wish this was the customer journey, right? It's not the customer's journey at all.
I mean, that's that about social's part in buying. We kind of know by now.
Well, again.
So your customer has discovered your product. That's great news. And they're considering.
I can't believe they're just discover, consider, buy, use. Oh, God, I hate when I see these things. I really dislike that stuff. This is terrible.
It just feels so. I don't know.
Well, to your point, it's dead, and not only is it dead, it's
They would
It's
click
trying
here
to
and
mix,
scroll through all of that information
what's the
that we
word?
provided,
Trying
and
to mix
figure out what they want.
what's happening with
All
2003,
that clicking
right?
around
Doesn't
is
work.
just so time consuming, super
When
inefficient.
she said clicks to conversation, it's like, wow, I mean,
Especially in this chat GPT world.
how
where
often
you
have you
never
heard stuff
even
like that?
have to
When
speak.
Thunderhead used to talk
Chatbot
about
about
campaigns to
exactly what
conversations
they
in
want.
2000 and
So now, if
let's
they're
see, when
looking
did I
for more
start with them?
information, what they do, they go
2015.
to the website.
It was
They want to chat.
new. It was not
They
quite
just
there
want
yet when it came to
one-on-one
marketing.
conversation.
In fact, they were way ahead of their
Find out
time.
exactly
This
what
is
they need.
old hat at this point.
So
It's old
customers have
Yeah,
spoken.
news,
Or real
old
time.
there
news.
isn't anything new here.
Really clear.
Nothing.
They don't
Well,
want
it's not only
convert
that.
on
I don't
their
mind
website.
that so much, but
They
it's
want
it's also
convert on
they're
their
not
website.
presenting it in a way that's all that
Their customers had
useful.
great
It's just
conversations.
words.
They don't want to
And
convert, they want to
are
converse.
ready to
Oh,
buy.
clever.
Sometimes,
Clever.
I mean,
Their
but sometimes you just want to get your stuff.
from
Right.
being okay getting personalized information,
Well, they're going and this discover.
personal insights. And there is a big difference. Let's think about this.
Wait, okay, let's hear.
Customer's about to get on a call with your rep.
Are you talking about the difference
It's
between
actually an easy,
personalized and
breezy
personal
conversation,
now?
right? The
I
call
think
Let's
so.
starts,
hear. That may be good.
and your customer's getting the sinking feeling. Oh no, I'm getting qualified because your rep
No
started
customer
with,
thinks
"Tell
that
me
way.
what you're looking for.
Have
Describe
you ever
your
thought that,
pain,"
Brent? Oh no, I'm getting qualified.
and your
I
customer
have
said,
to
"You know
say,
what is
that never
really
really crossed my mind.
No.
for the fourth time in a row?"
I would say don't pitch me, don't upsell me, maybe
Our
even if I'm
customers
that
have
sophisticated.
given us all of this information across so many different channels. It just didn't make it to that particular conversation. They expect you to take the context across all
I
of
miss
the
Brian and
information,
Darmesh coming out and doing their little shtick at the beginning.
bring
Me
You
them
know?
too.
insights every single time that you connect.
I'm
with them.
gathering she's really good operational
Personalized
CEO.
I think
It's
so.
templated.
I think so.
Yeah, because
Hello,
it's certainly
first
this
name,
is not her
not going to cut
forte.
it anymore.
Personalizes templated.
Personal.
Personalizes.
Oh, I
tailored.
see.
They
Personal is tail,
expect
right?
insights that
Well,
are
that's
specific
fair, but that's
to
not
them.
totally fair. But that's at least where
All
I
right,
would be going on this.
customer
I
boss,
would call it
time
from
to feel
personalized to
better.
humanized.
You're out there celebrating.
I know.
I'll give her
I know.
that point.
Then the
I'll
real
give her the
work
personalized to personal
because in
so far
this
as the
space,
only thing
the
that
expectations are
I'm
going
okay. Finally say
Reactive
something
and
worthwhile.
proactive.
Well, that's
wanting
true too, but that's
proactive
standard
sales.
That's
operating
pretty. Yeah,
procedure.
that's yeah.
SOP.
Just imagine this. Your
I think we all
customer
know it's better to be proactive than reactive. We just don't act on it.
They do. They
Right.
submit it to
Nobody
you,
is proactive about being
call it,
proactive.
listen to some
One of the
elevator
problem with
music,
see what she should do
and then
here
try
if
to
she's
follow
doing
up
that.
with an email.
Actually, what I'm not
To
tooting my
get
own horn
the
here or
answer
your
they
horn, but what she does there is what we just did, which is say,
can get
well,
the
there's
answer
actually a problem here, which is that yes, we talk reactive to
wonder
proactive all the time, but we're not proactive about
98%
being
of
proactive.
customers find
We don't do
service
it.
interactions
And that's
are
actually the bigger
absolutely
problem.
frustrating.
Not that we know or
The
don't
other
know it.
2% must be doing a lot of yoga
Look at the source.
because they know.
Way to
You see?
go.
They used that thing we did back in.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Well,
funny.
that's great.
I should have gotten a screenshot of that.
Well, you can. It's recorded. So, and we're recording it. So you can.
Wait till I
See,
tell
you know?
Kim G.
My first or one of my very first delight moments.
I think if it was just you
Way,
doing that, it
way,
would have
way
been a
back.
bigger source.
That's
Just wanted to diminish Oracle,
totally
word Oracle.
every week. I was a bookworm of epic proportions.
I'm
And
glad
my
I caught
library
that. I was
got
like,
to know
that
That was
looks
pretty
kind
good.
of familiar.
books,
That was
history
great.
novels, biographies.
Well, that's the best thing so far.
Yeah.
I know what will be a clip from this one.
Proactive action made me feel seen.
Well, the good news is that's eliminated as a stump the Godfather question.
Remember that moment.
Right.
That's what customers want to feel. Delighted.
98% is the answer.
Customers
No,
don't want reactive assistance.
they don't want to feel
proactive
delighted.
action.
They want to be. They just want to get the
Now,
thing
if you
done.
step back and you look at this,
I don't get how people really think that.
wow, things
A
are
delight, of
changing
course, it
in
feels
every
better
single
than
stage
just
of
getting
the
it done. It does. You
AI
feel
is
emotionally
not
better,
only
but that's
changing
not
the
why you're
technology
there.
landscape, it's causing your
That's the part I
customers'
never get.
expectations to change pretty dramatically.
Ooh, and they're going to turn it on with that'll all go
That
to the right
means
now. All the little
standing
white
still
dots.
here is not an
I can't
option.
believe they didn't do that.
You need to evolve. You need to evolve how you connect with your customers. And if you ask me,
Yeah, like you said, I'm sure she's very operational. She's
Well, no,
probably.
I've heard, to your point, I've heard
No
exactly the
label
same
for
thing. She's
AI.
good
Yeah.
CEO.
Marketing for
Yeah.
sales,
No
for
question of
service.
that. She's not a good
Things are
speaker, though.
evolving really rapidly.
Well, I don't say that. I
Best
just feel like
thing you
it's
can do
not the
is
what
start
I was
small,
looking for in
iterate
this
fast,
keynote, I guess.
and
No,
iterate responsibly.
especially coming from
That's
them.
exactly what we're doing
Exactly.
here at
That's
HubSpot.
it.
I mean, they are
In fact, our
creators,
motto
and
at
they
Hubs
really are
AI
creators,
is
and
to
they do. Look, I mean,
don't
think about it
innovate.
this way.
So we
These
have
are one
been
of the two companies that we've identified as the innovators, really, with Salesforce and them on that, on the media side with the HubSpot Creators Hub.
share
It's
four
brilliant,
ways in which
and
you start evolving your go-to-market for the age
And
of
what's
AI.
interesting is they're using
Wanna get started?
YouTube as their
Yeah.
kind of their
Well,
channel,
first one,
yeah,
whereas Salesforce, you know, bought Salesforce Plus to do that.
correct.
built
Start
its
one
own.
for your website.
No.
Remember your customers?
We're
They
still
don't
trying to
want
figure out
more
what we're
pictures
using as
with
our
all of the
channel, but
information.
besides
They want
LinkedIn.
chat. So your chat should be able to answer questions about your product, about pricing, about case studies that your customers are interested in, and it should be able to do it better. At HubSpot, we added a Gen AI powered chatbot earlier this year, and it's been working great. In
And
fact,
then you think, when she said that, my immediate thought went to Verint.
fully answered by the bot.
When she said we added a Gen AI chatbot and it's working great, and Verint's in there with how many?
Once you
9?
have a marketing chatbot,
No, I
next
think at
is
least
to learn how
12.
to
12. That's right, 12, and more coming,
get
and
the
in
most
in
repetitive
brilliant
questions
execution too. Their
answered right
chatbots
away
are
by the
brilliant.
bot. So
See, I
your
would have
team
liked to known
can
some stats
focus
around
on the
the
ones
chat
that
bot
require
that they already
complex
have, just to
answers and
hear
expertise.
how that's coming
Service
along.
levels are going to improve.
I mean, ultimately, these
Customers
are still bots,
absolutely
no matter how
delight.
you cut it. And most bots don't work that
All right,
well. And
next,
to be honest, I've worked with a couple of, I've
insights
had
on your
to
content
interact with a
strategy
couple of Gen AI
AI.
bot.
Specifically, you should be
Uh,
asking
Hit
questions.
refresh on your content
What kind of
strategy.
content do I generate now?
well,
And which
let's hear what,
communities do I
maybe she
share
says
that
something
content
here.
in? Now, whether you're creating blogs or podcasts or infographics, the content that you create should be optimized for AI. And that
What?
means it has to have depth.
What?
Still important.
The content you should create should be optimized for the people consuming it, not AI. What's wrong with you? Holy crap. That was,
how you should be thinking.
sorry, that
about
was
content.
incomprehensible
So, for example,
statement to
let's
make.
say your customer is going to search for the best standing desk.
I can't believe
They
she
will
just said
actually
that.
find your blog article which said best standing desk in 2023. But what if they ask the bot a question about your product, pricing, models, where they can buy it? Do you have all of that
Boy, oh
information
boy.
available for the bot to pull it from?
They talk about personalized to
Moving
personal,
forward, that
and then they
you
say your content should be
understand
optimized to the AI.
creating this content.
No, the AI should be used to optimize the content to the
Where do you share it?
individual that you're
All
providing
those
it to,
communities.
so they can consume it in the
We have
way
got
they do.
all of these
Did you
Oh
hear what
my!
she said? Your content should be optimized
really help.
so the bot can use it and do and return something.
That's not how it works.
It's really interesting. That's maybe that's how it's gonna work. I don't know.
No, it's, I mean, the bot, if you're treating the AI as a co-pilot, which is what it's the right way to treat it, you're still optimizing the content to the individual who needs to, who's consuming it. And the bot aids in support of that.
I think that's in order for the human to actually get the content, it has to go through the
That's fine.
AI automation.
Fine. But
So
you don't
that's what they're
optimize the
saying.
content to the AI. You use the AI to optimize the content to the person.
Well, that's the. I think that's the way I would go too. But I guess they're saying the content won't get to the person unless it's optimized via AI.
That is absolutely untrue. Given that all content's not going to be driven through AI.
You would think.
Yeah. Holy crap.
And insight-driven activities will lead to more sales.
Efficient reps, connected tools, right activities, more sales.
Yeah, wowie, wowie.
Yeah,
that's claim of every human, every regular. That's the claim of every company. Was that? I imagine those answers were driven through the. Those are optimized to the AI. Right.
I mean, that same formula was somebody said that like 15 years ago.
I know.
Without AI being involved. That
Exactly.
same
Today. It is getting them to use it.
Now I'm officially worried about
Value
HubSpot.
from it.
No, I'm not, but this is just
Yeah, I'm
Instead of
I'm
just waiting for
exaggerating,
customers
believe me,
to
but
call
I'm
you,
just saying
be
this
proactive and get more
messaging.
insights, because more insights
Who's do they have a
equals
do they have a
more
CMO?
value.
I'm sure. Oh, I wonder if that guy's
Every
still there. Remember that guy,
conversation count.
Kip
And AI can
Bodner?
absolutely help you.
That's right.
I wonder if
That's
he's
right.
still there. That's,
Next
I mean,
high
maybe
value
he's gone
feature
by
your
now. I
customer
don't know.
needs to be using.
I'm,
We'll
I,
see.
I feel
Just
I feel
save
kind
them
of
from doing
disconnected
other
from HubSpot.
industries.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Share that.
Me too.
Make
Well,
it
I
easy.
again, you've
Insight
been way
drive
closer than
value.
me over the years. Well,
It's
So
still
you and
if you
Dharmesh are
ask me,
still
how can I
buddies.
evolve my
he's
go-to-market
still
in the
listed
age
as
of AI?
CMO.
I'd say
He
start
is?
with
Okay,
these
I was just
simple,
looking it up too.
practical
Okay.
ways. Get going
Well,
with
he needs
thought,
to work on his
refresh
messaging.
on content
Kim,
with AI, flip
come
the
on,
sales
man.
formula with
Kip.
insights,
Kip.
be
That's right. Kip. That's how
proactive.
disconnected I am. Right.
It is
I don't
such an
remember his name.
exciting time to be in
Sorry,
go-to-market.
Kip. That my
Now
apologies to you
have
on
the
that.
opportunity to drive customer connection with
I
intelligence.
should know your name.
And HubSpot, we're there on this journey with you.
They're just really
Let's
focused on.
adapt.
Did you see number one there for being proactive? Get going with
So
bots.
back in 2014, we launched HubSpot CRM. And back then, our motivation was very simple. We believe that millions of organizations can
The only thing I will give them credit for on HubSpot CRM
and
is
powerful.
at least they recognized it wasn't
Now,
only sales that was CRM,
believe
that it was
every
more than sales.
organization deserves an AI-powered
Yeah, they got the
customer
service.
platform.
What, a
Yeah,
couple
they have
years
the
ago.
three, they have the
Power of
pillars.
intelligence. Yes.
Wow, look how
We're
excited
building
they are.
AI into
It's-
That- what-
every one.
Well,
You
they're
know,
Engagement hubs.
I
and
remember going to
customer
several
platform.
inbounds, and the energy was crazy.
Yeah.
It was
In a
that
minute,
good. It
Andy,
rivaled,
in.
Dreamforce
Going
to a
take
certain
you under the
extent.
hood of our entire customer
Yeah, well, this is
platform.
no energy, judging from at
Share
least what we're seeing
all
or
the
and hearing or
exciting
not hearing.
developments that we have been working
God,
on.
No,
I'm
I
getting
think we're
so.
getting it.
You grow.
I think we're
You're
getting the
going to be
gist of
so
it.
excited, blown away.
Let's see. This is
I
so
wanna
exciting. I
finish
think I'll show everyone a
by
view of
bringing
my
us
new
back
camera
to where
view.
we started. Change.
I won't, but
Technology is changing.
I
Customer
hope.
journey is
I think
changing.
Dharmesh
How
and
we
Brian
connect
are supposed to be a part of this.
really needs to change.
hopefully that'll change the
My world
energy.
is changing too. Gen AI has revamped how I approach my life and work.
Wow.
I wake up in the morning with
Oh,
the chat spot.
I use my BlackBerry as an alarm
Conversations
clock.
assistant.
That was the
I
SAP
use it to get
story, joke
insights
story I
about
told.
our monthly pipeline, to prepare for customer calls, to help me write talks like this one.
Ah,
I
no
use
wonder.
it to unearth
That's what
every
did
new
this.
recipes
Gen AI.
or the bottomless
Didn't help
appetite
you,
of
my dear.
voice. It's really changed the way I'm living, and I'm energized by it. I welcome you all to join me. This could be the most profound change to transform marketing, sales, and service, and help us connect better as humans.
Did a
With that,
terrible job there.
It is my absolute pleasure and delight to
Here we
welcome
go.
Andy Petrie, our
Oh, no.
head of
Oh, he's
products
still
and
there.
UX,
Okay.
to take you
Okay.
on the journey with our
He
product.
remember he
Thank you so much.
joined us
Enjoy Inbound.
after last year's inbound keynote.
Oh
Andy.
yeah, that's right. He's a good guy.
He's very good. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him. We'll see if he can pull it off here.
See, he comes out looking relaxed.
Yeah. Still
right,
not much
hello,
energy though.
Inbound. My name is My name is Andy Petrie. I work
Ooh.
on the product team at HubSpot, and I am excited to be here. Yamini just talked about how we are in a time of change and opportunity, but let's face it, change can sometimes be hard. And so I want to start today by doing a little product research. How many of you out there are unsure about how to use AI? Okay, I see some hands going up. It's okay, we can be vulnerable together right now. If you're with your boss, just wink. Okay, I see you. All right, how many of you are overwhelmed keeping up with customer expectations? All right, me too. Last one.
See, he's at least
How
getting
many
the crowd
people
in
this
Right.
room
involved.
are stressed out by their CEO and 2 co-founders, emailing them every article about generative AI.
See, yeah, this
I
guy's
thought
doing
that
a
one
good
was gonna
job.
be just me.
Yeah.
I see some hands going up too. The good news is HubSpot is here to help, just like we have through other big disruptions. When I joined HubSpot back in 2009, we were helping customers transition from outbound marketing to inbound marketing. But as we just saw, the customer journey has changed a lot since then. And so have the responsibilities of marketing, sales, and service teams. That means more content, more channels, more outreach, more tickets, and a whole lot more
You know,
action.
if every time I see people
But
talking
Yamini just
about
told us that this is
marketing
the
and
age of
conversations now, I
intelligence.
always think
We're
of
supposed to
Thunderbird,
work
Thunderbird,
smarter, not harder.
Thunderhead,
Yeah, I think Thunderbird
oh,
too.
To do that,
Thunderbird and
we
MD
need more
2020.
than
Right.
disconnected point solutions.
I always think of
We need
Thunderhead
a
being
system
so far
of
ahead of the
work
game on
and
that one and
engagement,
really
and
understanding where
that
this was
is what will
going.
help us drive growth.
They were
That's
genuine,
also what we are
heavy-hitting
building
thought leaders
HubSpot's
and
customer platform.
made them seem bigger than they
Hubs
really were.
that help you
Yeah.
engage across the customer journey, from generating leads with Marketing Hub to getting paid with
I guess
Commerce Hub.
Medallia just kind
A
of like
smart
swallowed
CRM
them and
that centralizes
Yeah,
never
they
seen
have
again.
theoretically they're offering the product still, but
in our connected ecosystem.
there's one person
that
left, I think, if
and
any, of
HubSpot
the key
gives
team.
you
In fact,
tools
to my
to
knowledge,
customize
he's gone
HubSpot,
too.
level
And
up your
so
skills, and connect with
Medallia, well,
the best thing
Leslie
about
and
customer
other
platform
leaders of
is it
Medallia
keeps
are out.
getting
They're
better.
no longer there.
What I'm about
I
to
mean, the
show you
company
today
is
are just a
pretty
few
much,
of the
at least as far as
200+
I'm
products and
concerned, and I
features that
speak for
built
myself here,
customer
declining
platform.
dramatically.
Now,
And
normally,
not that they
when
were
I give a
ever
product
as
demo,
high
I
at
save the
at
biggest
the level they
announcement
thought they were,
at the
but
end. Today,
they're
I wanna
declining
mix it up a little
dramatically
bit.
now, and as a result, the
Artificial
casualty is
intelligence
Thunderhead.
has the power to supercharge
Yeah.
how we work and how we connect. And I am excited to introduce to you HubSpot AI.
Table stakes, yay!
HubSpot AI is our collection of AI features across the customer platform. And what makes HubSpot
Huh.
AI so unique is it has access
Collection
to
of features. It's
information
not
that
like a
other
layer
AI
in the
systems
platform.
don't have. HubSpot AI knows your content. HubSpot AI has context about your business. And most importantly, HubSpot AI understands your customers. These are the missing ingredients that will allow you to use AI to drive connection and growth. HubSpot AI includes dozens of features, from assistants that help you work faster, agents that help you automate your work, predictive insights that allow you to uncover knowledge, and of course, ChatSpot that combines our smart CRM with ChatGPT. And they are all built into the tools you already know and love. Now, all right, yeah. I'll take the claps. Who is ready to see some software in action?
Okay.
Let's start with the discovery phase. As Yamini mentioned, the way people discover your business and products is shifting, and we expect to see changes in search, social, and influencer marketing. But there's
I
one
just
thing
really
that we
dislike this
think is not
customer
changing,
journey
and that is the need
view.
for quality content.
The difference between
fact,
journey,
think
this
the bar
customer
for
journey and
quality
journey
content
orchestration
only
are
getting
enormous.
higher. That's why
Orchestration's
earlier this year,
dynamic
we launched
and
Content
doesn't
Assistant,
follow a
which uses AI to help you write for your
Right.
audience across your website, your blog posts, your emails, social, and more.
That's,
And in
as I
just
said,
6
that's the, I
months,
wish this were the
one
customer
Content
journey.
HubSpot customers, many of you in the audience,
I would love to
have
see if they
created
actually have
over
some kind of
1
video
million
AI
pieces
editing
of
capability
content.
for
How
the
awesome is
content
that?
part. Let's see.
I've never seen that yet, I don't think.
But we didn't want
Not
to
as part of a
stop at just
platform, but
No.
because as
I mean,
they
I'm sure
say,
the media guys do,
is worth
but
a
well, I mean, I
no,
use Opus, but it's not a
Yeah.
part of
Today,
like
Right.
a Salesforce
HubSpot
function.
AI
Right.
can create
Not,
images.
yeah, that's what I mean, not in our
Let's
universe.
say you want to
Right.
share a post that you just wrote on social. In addition to helping you summarize the post, just tell HubSpot AI what image you want to create, and you can create it. Even better, HubSpot AI can read your content and create the image for you. This is how we are helping you streamline your workflow. And
So they
making
have some,
AI
probably have
work
some kind of
for you.
mid journey or
That's image
something in the
creation with
background
Content
they were
Assistant.
working on.
It's now available in beta.
Or
Who
else they
is ready
stole
to create
Photoshop.
images? All right, how many marketers?
Boy, that guy
on-
looks.
All right, this is inbound, so there's a lot of marketers, and I know a lot of you are feeling skeptical right now, and you're thinking, Andy, it's not just about creating one piece of content. I need to create an entire campaign. And to create that campaign, I need to build a landing page. I need to write killer copy for my landing page. I need to put a form on the landing page with the right fields, and those fields have to sync into my CRM. Then I need to promote the landing page. And to do that, I have to
So
write
far, though,
in fact, I have to write dozens of
unless,
emails,
to
all
your point,
targeted
there's
at
some
different
video
audiences, all with different
and
content and slightly
audio
different
involved in
tools.
this.
Don't even get me
This is
started on ads. I have to run Google
Gen
ads,
X
LinkedIn
boomer
ads, Facebook
campaign
ads, Instagram ads.
consumption.
It is exhausting just thinking about the amount of work that marketers have to put into creating killer campaigns. It is time you had an assistant for that, which is why we are launching Campaign Assistant.
What a creative name.
In just a few steps, you can have a coordinated
Which is
campaign.
why you need an assistant for your campaign. So we're launching Campaign Assistant. Well, to their credit, at least you know what it
Let's
does.
say you're running a promotion.
That's true.
HubSpot AI will help you fine-tune your message. You want to be friendly, creative, and informative because that's the
This could
voice
be
of your
interesting.
brand. And just like that, you can have a landing page.
I always
that
want to
generates-
see them hit humorous
really
because
cool
usually
part.
it's not very
Just
funny.
one
Right.
short
AI
clip,
does not have much of a sense of humor.
search ads, Instagram ads, and marketing emails to drive traffic to your campaigns.
Why
What
am I
used
not?
to
But we're
take
not
hours
seeing
now takes
video.
only minutes. This means you can focus on creating
Yeah.
better, more targeted campaigns.
Now that would be
That's
hard. I
everything.
mean, you got to get the video part from somewhere.
I'm sure this is great. Automating,
You come up with
It's
the idea,
automating an old style of
will
campaign,
help you build
basically.
the content. And I
But
wanna
Jack,
share
there's
something
a
else
place for
really
that.
cool about
No,
Campaign
there's
Assistant.
a lot of place for
We
it still.
decided to make it
Yeah.
Everybody's not
completely
as
free.
aligned as we might be. I mean, I like this actually,
That
but
means that even if you are not a HubSpot
it is
customer,
missing
even if
those.
But
you
you
don't
know
have a
what?
HubSpot account, every
What
marketer
this means to
can
me
now
is,
use
and this is not
AI to build
about
marketing
HubSpot
campaigns.
specifically.
This is how we are
You make it
bringing
so
AI
easy to
everywhere.
create content. The focus goes, to creating good content kind of goes away
Your
because
audience has now discovered you.
now
and
you
they
can
are
just
moving
blast
to
something out
consider
quickly,
you.
and
Right.
now it all starts to
They're
blur.
scoping you out,
And
they're
there's really
deciding if they are going to
the
keep
time
you.
that is
And it
saved
all comes
by
down
not
to
having to do
features,
these mundane things.
starting with
It
that
doesn't
thing
seem to go back
that
into
used to
the
take weeks,
creative or
sometimes months,
the
and
actual,
thousands of dollars.
making it the human
I'm
differentiator.
talking about
Now it all
your
becomes just
What if I
canned
told you
automated
that
stuff.
HubSpot can
Yep.
help you create a
And the other side, it
world-class
goes to your,
in
prove your
15
point.
minutes with
If you
just
remember, the CEO said that
That's what you can
Gen
do
AI
with
helped her
website.
with her speech,
Like our
and that
other
was
assistants,
as
just give it
pretty
some
much as
context
canned as you're
about
going to
your
get.
business, choose your goals and the
Um,
look that you're going for.
So
I
it
like
didn't.
this
And HubSpot
website
will build your
builder.
layout, your style,
But once again,
and your content.
website builder. Think of that term.
Just
We've
like
been using
that,
that term
I
for
know.
ready.
Well, again,
Yeah.
this is taking what has been for 30, 40, 50
We
years
just
making it
built a
easy.
since the
website
20s and
in
making it
less
easy to
time
do, as
than it
opposed
took
to
get through
looking
security.
ahead. HubSpot Creative Hub looks ahead, right? That's one of the
Okay.
things it does,
Since we're
and
talking about
to their
websites, I wanna
great
share a
credit.
hard truth
But what
about
I think what we're hearing is the
Your
things that
customers
were
don't
important
just
for
want a
marketers to
static
do
website.
decades ago
They want their questions
still
answered. They
incredibly
don't wanna stand in
important.
line.
And at
They
least
don't
this
wanna wait on
hopefully gives them a
hold.
way to do it
They
in a
don't
more
wanna leave a
efficient,
message. They don't wanna
less
call
time
back.
consuming manner.
But
I get
that
that.
is a little bit
And
underrated.
I get that too. I
It can't
think
all be online
the
24/7.
problem, I would
certainly can't
say,
be
it's
online
not that
24/7.
at all.
I
And
need my
that's actually,
work-life
to
balance.
your point,
And
it's
so
an
we are
asset.
fixing this
I think the problem is they're
AI
not really
chatbots.
acknowledging the fact that that's
Here's how it
not
works.
how
Put a live
conversations are
chat
going to
on
look
your
in the
website.
future when it comes to consumption, right? And I
That's it.
think that
Behind
just
the
sets them
scenes,
up. The context
HubSpot's
gets set
AI
slightly
chatbot reads
wrong
your web pages
for
and
what
your
they should be
follow-through
talking about. There should
articles.
be an eye to the future here, which there
No,
isn't.
that's the thing I was,
The beauty of
because
the AI
everybody
chatbot
from
is
day
the more
one,
content you feed it,
HubSpot
the
has
better
always
it
been
gets.
viewed as a
Because content
leader
truly
and
Yes.
and way out front when it
especially
comes to
if
marketing,
you
particularly
are
at the
a
SMB level. But even
AI
general. I mean, you remember
chatbots
the
are now in
website
private
grader
beta,
and
I am
all the
excited
things
to
that
see
they've
how this
done.
radically changes
So
what
far,
you
I haven't
all
seen
connect with our
anything
customers.
that says that. I see things that are making it easier for people to do things that they've always needed to do.
Right.
I
But
haven't
wonderful
seen the visionary
conversations
stuff
aren't
yet.
just happening
Yeah.
on your website.
I think we're right now in
Majority
the
of
middle of
customers
efficiency and
prefer
effectiveness,
text
so
and
to
direct
speak.
messaging.
And
Many
not,
of you
to your
already
point,
know
there's
this,
nothing visionary. And
because
again,
SMS is
I'll
one of the top
re-emphasize it for the
recommended
80th time, which is
from HubSpot
HubSpot
customers.
Creators
And
Hub is
today,
visionary,
we are
right?
announcing
And
that
it's
SMS
genuinely
now
visionary.
works
And they're one of the
natively
two
on
companies
HubSpot,
really doing
just
something,
like our other
I'll call
channels.
it progressive here, in that regard. But there's no reference
You know
whatsoever
what?
to any of that kind of
Create an
thinking.
The other
SMS
thing,
right inside your marketing.
the claps are
You
like
can
polite
preview and
claps.
know
Yeah.
They're
exactly
not
what
like,
it's gonna look like.
you know, like when
Even
you
add
remember.
SMS
I
messages
remember
to
sitting
your
in
workflows.
inbound, and when they
And of
announced something
course,
that
you get all
people
the
weren't
tracking
really
and subscription
expecting,
management
but it was
you
like,
would
oh,
expect from
and you would
HubSpot.
get this really
When I showed
excited
this to our
reaction.
own marketing
This
team,
is like
they
the
lost their
country
freaking
club kind of
Yep.
reaction.
minds.
Well, it's like when somebody in
Now
Salesforce,
SMS,
say
you
one
can
of
use
the
HubSpot as the single
MVPs
place
or
to have better
customers wins the
conversations
golden
with your
hoodie,
customers
the
everywhere
people are
you
genuinely
go.
excited about
That
that. The
people are
thing
going to
blows
drive
up, and then everybody, it's like America's Got Talent's, golden buzzer, and people really get excited that somebody won it, and that's the kind of excitement
See,
that's
look at that.
completely
That's
missing. Yeah.
And we are now
Did you
at the
notice there's a lot
next
of people like
critical
this?
point
Yeah,
of
if I were them, I'd be like, look,
Omnichannel.
stop the cutaway shots.
All right.
They're not helping.
I want to share
No.
something with you. This is the most salespeople that we have ever had at an inbound event. Almost a quarter of our attendees are salespeople. Let's give it up for the salespeople.
That's marketers saying why they give us nothing but trouble.
Now, what's
All they ever do is
especially
give us
impressive
trouble.
about having salespeople at inbound is that it is September right now. It's the end of the third quarter. There's a ton of pressure on salespeople to close the third quarter strong. Plus, you need to get ready to set yourself up for a good fourth quarter. It is nothing short of a miracle.
I
that
was
you are
thinking
able
about
to
this.
convince your bosses to let
We're
you work
watching
down.
this one this week.
Proves
Next week is
that you
Dreamforce.
are
Week
all
after that
very
is
good at
Cloud
sales.
World.
And
We're
I
gonna have to
promise
like
you,
do a rapid
you made the right
comparison
call to
thing.
make
Yeah,
this
I think
show,
that's a
because
good
it is
idea.
not very often that
Once
we
again,
need to
no
reimagine hubs from the ground up.
no
But with the
sarcasm
changes that are
intended at
happening
all.
in the customer
The
journey,
genius of
we
Brent
knew
Leary
we
shows
had to
up,
do something
and
different.
you are like a
So I
genius.
am excited to introduce to you
That you're right. No,
all
you're right.
new
That,
sales
that,
hubs.
that comparison would be super important right now.
I mean, people are looking down. I mean, there's some
I wanna
claps, but it
dust
just
off
feels.
Yeah.
some of that
I'm
dust.
just so used to a
One of
different
our most
energy level at
customers.
inbound.
You know what? I didn't think I was going to do this, but the
All right,
level's
let's
so
get
low.
into it.
Okay, everyone, here's
Grow
what
our
my
business
studio
with
actually looks
sales
like.
hubs. We know that salespeople have a fundamental
Wow.
problem.
That's
They
it now. That's what I'm working from right
say
now, everybody.
building personal
My
connections
current
is
studio.
the
Okay,
most
I'm
important
coming
part of
back.
their job, but only
It looks good.
1/3 of their time
Well,
is spent
when we have some time on maybe the gear show or something, I'll show a
we
little
wanted
more
to
of it.
change that
Hmm.
equation, and it starts with a better prospecting experience.
All
By
right,
the
now I
way,
get this is cool that
Today,
they're doing
prospecting is a
sales related
game
stuff
in
since
the
they
mind.
are now a full
Our
blown
days
suite.
are spent in dozens of tabs, bouncing between tasks, trying to figure out who to reach out to and who to follow up with. Who has time to build personal connections when you are barely treading water,
Yeah, but
fighting with your systems?
okay, well,
So
I'll
we built
wait.
a prospecting experience.
Because so far they haven't said
everything
it. They've
you
talked
need
personal,
to get
but they've
the job
shown nothing that actually
That
does
means you have your
personal.
schedule, your goals, and your to-do list in one place. Tools like calling and emailing are
This is
embedded.
task
The time you
management.
spent doing busy work can actually be spent connecting. Which brings me to our next prospecting feature, our new leads
Oh, look,
experience.
they got Taylor Swift as a
Leads
client.
experience, every
Said
lead
so.
comes with context. From their first interaction to their most recent communication, this is something that's only possible on the customer platform. And best of all, we're giving you brand new out-of-the-box prospect reporting so you can see what's driving connection and fix what's not. With Sales Hub's new prospecting tools, reps have fewer tabs, a lot less busy work, and a whole lot more connecting.
Wow, that's unexcited.
Okay, you're now opening more doors, but what about closing more deals? From what I understand, that is a pretty important part of the whole sales job. That's why we built a smarter deal management experience that gives reps and managers the information they need to connect and close.
The one thing I actually, just on a totally secondary note, the one thing I really do like is the fact that they have the signer enlarged so that the virtual attendees who can't hear can see. Right? That's something we don't usually see them there. They're usually so off in a tiny little corner. This one, they've got a nice big window.
Embedded Insights gives you a snapshot of your team's entire progress, and you can even get an in-depth look at how deals are tracking and converting.
Again, this is,
I love the funnel vision.
a little, you know what this funnel is? The funnel that every single demand gen tool has. Maybe it's generated by AI, but it's still a damn funnel, no matter how you cut it. Yay. That person's
They've
asleep.
got 12,000 people there. They said.
Close rates. Let's talk about forecasting those close rates. Sales forecasting is hard. I work in product.
At least they're filling out their sales tool, which I used to think was just a piece of crap.
But if you try to do that,
it's getting better in terms of what it offers.
And this is the worst part.
I'll give them that.
You know, if you miss your number, you're toast. But
Well, that's why I guess they made the CRM magazine mid-market SMB CRM suite.
What if I told you that your projections could go from manual guesswork to up to 95% accurate? That's what AI forecasting gives you, and it only uses data from your company. So the more you use it, the better it gets. When you look at your forecast, you see everything you need from goals to gap in one place. You can see a history of how deals have changed, and of course, AI will help you accurately predict your forecast based on previous performance. You know what that means? That means a lot less time fighting.
That's literally standard predictive AI.
Forecasting is now.
Yeah, he did say that.
Yeah. As long as he's not calling it Gen AI, which is hallucinating.
You don't want Gen AI.
Yeah, you're going to be 130% on target.
Wait a minute. We don't sell that product.
That's right.
Because sometimes
that's right. Actually, nobody does. It hasn't been invented yet.
One that looks like the donut, right? We all love the donut chart, right? But
so that's the sign for donut.
Can be hard. You waste 2 hours fighting with your systems, and at the end of the day, you just wanted to know.
You know what? This feels so very
I have good news.
Pre-pandemic, in the way that they've put this together.
I'm kind of surprised at all this, to be honest. I expected way more out of them than we're seeing.
Yeah, so what do we call it? The cinematic value
is zero.
Completely missing.
Yeah.
There's so much
it
more
feels like
in the new Sales Hub.
2019.
And they're pretty much
salespeople. What is the
what's the word? They're hyping up I'm not hyping, but they're presenting features and capabilities.
How do you know if they
with one, they're just table stakes stuff that everybody already has, and two, they're doing it without really talking to outcomes.
Give you the best B2B connection.
Other than you'll make your pipeline.
What's this LinkedIn HubSpot thing? Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that's the LinkedIn Sales Navigator or something.
Sad.
That's what it is.
And LinkedIn Sales Navigator.
Yeah, that's not.
It's a joke. It's also a joke. LinkedIn still does that because all they use Sales Navigators to sell their pipeline access. That's what it is. It's their API to the whole thing. It's like your gateway because the features of the sales SFA are horrid.
You know what? It's funny. I know that's a big thing for salespeople and for prospecting purposes.
Yeah.
I look at LinkedIn so differently than I did 5 years ago because now I look at it as a platform for content. Not
me too.
But that's not everybody that does that.
But also, the thing is, I don't think people fully
one big thing that's changed.
They don't fully understand why people are even on LinkedIn. Right? So like how many I get hit up every week, 3 times a week by somebody who's not even connected. It's just using like InMail or something to sell me on buying a franchise.
Oh my gosh.
You can send
Oh yeah,
emails
like, but it's always a different company, a
customers
different
right from
person with
inside
the
your
exact
CRM
same
or from your
exact
website.
same
And
message,
this year, we
word
added
for word,
professional invoices. They're easy to
3 times a
create,
week.
easy to send.
And then other
Best of
people
all, they
who
make
send me,
life
"Hi,
easier for
Paul.
customers.
I saw on your
With
LinkedIn
Customer
profile you're
Platform,
someone I
you
should
can
connect with.
automate your
I
billing,
really would be
connect with
interested in
accounting
getting to
software
know
like
you."
QuickBooks,
And
and
then
even connect
and
your
then we'll
existing
say,
life email.
"So,
How cool is that?
are you tracking your website?" Or things
Mhm.
like that. And
Commerce Hub,
I actually had
we're
one like
making
that yesterday, and I
commitment
just sent him a note
easy
saying,
for
"Let's
you
just
and your
cut to
customers
it right
to work
now.
seamlessly
You're
on the
going to
customer
try to sell me
platform,
something. I'm not
and there's
interested. So
no
how about we just
monthly
stop now?"
Yeah,
Right?
exactly.
Who's excited
You're
about
even nicer
getting
than I am. I
paid?
just don't reply.
Well, most of the time I don't. Sometimes I do, just to be mean. I'm saying
Okay,
it's not wow.
we have
LinkedIn's
now
whole purpose
created
is
the
don't
last phase
sell
of
the
customer.
minute the first
Businesses,
interaction you
this
have.
is where we tend to think that the journey ends.
It's
But for
LinkedIn's
our
theoretical
customers,
purpose is to
this
build
is where
trusted
the journey
relationships,
really begins,
Yep.
and the stakes are high.
Yep.
Yamini
not
just
a
talked
lead
about
gen.
how you can no longer be reactive with your customers. You need to be proactive. And it's not enough to just support your customers. You are responsible for making them successful. But who has the time, who has the tools, and who has the budget to do that? This is where Service Hub comes in. And our new help desk and built-in support assistant can empower service teams like never before.
You know what?
What? Uh-oh. Everything just froze.
Here.
Now I know we both froze. We're freezing.
I
don't know if
think there's something on my end.
Okay, yeah, I can sort of hear you, but your video is frozen, and so is their screen.
It's
Could be me.
No, I think mine.
Okay. You want to go out and come back in? You're breaking up a lot. That's what's happening. I'm hearing that, twangy noise.
This makes it easy to assign, triage, and respond to tickets. First,
You're still kind of out.
So this, you can spend more time solving and less time responding. Right.
Yeah, I mean, you are sort of your screen moved and then froze. His screen's never moved. It's still on service support assistant and help desk. But I can kind of hear his every few words of his speech.
Help desk
having some
technical bandwidth.
Yeah.
You're choppy, super choppy, like one frame every 30 is 50. It was showing up. Now you're frozen again.
Service Hub, which help you make your customers successful. And we're talking about making customers successful at every single stage of their journey.
It's weird. I can see on one computer. I can see it.
I can't. Maybe you should. You think it could be my end, although I look perfectly smooth to me. But you want me? Maybe you think it's on yours or mine?
Yeah, because I'm looking at it on one machine that's running the
oh, now it's back. It's kind of back. Kind of. It's still choppy.
We're talking about building and customizing the CRM.
Your resolution is down.
Is only as good as the ecosystem behind it.
He's choppier than he was. He was always a little choppy, but now it's choppier. He's like dropping probably 2 out of every 5 frames.
Give him a hand.
It looks like it's still choppy.
Yeah.
3.2 million.
It's like he's dropping
people
30,
in the
40% of
HubSpot
the frames,
community
I'd say.
making HubSpot better every single day.
How about now?
That includes everybody in this room. Thank you
His
so
audio
much
sounds
for
good.
making HubSpot awesome. Let's give
Yeah.
ourselves a hand.
You're actually pretty good. You're not 100% back yet. Oh, now you are. You're 100% back. He's choppier still.
These were just a few of the 200 plus products and features that we built into the customer platform this year. I wish I had time to show you them all. For all you admins out there, we built a new security center and a new audit log. In Operations Hub, we made huge improvements to data sets, which are going to make it easier to build reports inside of HubSpot. In our smart CRM, we launched dependent
Now it
fields
looks
and
like it's
conditional
Yeah, it
logic
looks
for
almost
two of
back
our
to
biggest
normal, not
customer
quite. But
requested
I don't know
features.
what happened there.
And Connect.com is launching new communities. To see everything that I talked about today, go to HubSpot.com/new. And for all of you who are here in person, make sure to check out our demo stations where you can see what I demoed today, plus more. And you get to meet the people who actually built the features that I'm up here taking credit for right now. I hope this leaves you feeling excited about the new customer journey. You have always had the passion. Now you have the tools to make your customers successful and grow your business.
Didn't really feel like a new
I am
customer journey.
excited to
No,
introduce
it's
our
not a
next
new customer
speaker,
journey.
HubSpot co-founder Dharmesh Shah.
Yay.
Okay, so let's see how the room changes with him up there. He looks good.
He does. Can't help but love the guy. Shyest man on the planet.
Greetings, fellow humans.
And a shout out to all the AI bots out there. I know you're watching too.
Now it looks fine.
I'm Dharmesh. I'm one of those co-founders at HubSpot that consumes everything on the internet about generative AI and sends it all to Andy. By the way, one more round of applause for Andy. I'm so proud of the team and what they've delivered. It's been amazing. Now, originally I had thought to make this presentation mostly about AI. You'll be pleased to know I changed my mind. It's now all about AI.
Ooh.
Not just because AI is the topic of the day, which it is, but because it's also the opportunity of a lifetime. And not some random lifetime. I'm talking about you and your
He lost
lifetime.
weight.
Yamini talked about
crap.
how we can leverage generative AI to connect better with customers. Andy just showed you a bunch
Yeah.
of amazing things
He's
that
no
HubSpot
belly
is working
anymore.
on to help you deliver on those ideas. I'd like to talk about love. I have an unhidden agenda. My mission is to have you fall in love, not with AI, but with a future version of yourself that's AI powered. That's why we're here.
See, this is interesting.
So I'm going to
Even the
first start
way
off
he's
with
structuring
the story
it.
of how
Right.
I fell in love with generative AI. I'm going to try and convince you as to why you should be enamored too. We'll talk about where the relationship is
Whoops.
headed, and then
If
what I
not
think you
highlighting.
should do, otherwise known as unsolicited relationship advice.
I don't think he's changed anything yet.
So
Yeah.
let's start with the story of how
They
I
were
fell in
supposed to
love
highlight
with
those as they
AI.
went along.
The story goes way back to 2 BC. By BC, I mean before Chat GPT. It's the summer of 2020, and I get this weird message. Brian, my friend and co-founder, asked me if I want to join him on a call. My immediate reaction is, wait, what? You see, I'm an introvert that dislikes phone calls.
He definitely is.
I
and
know.
Otherwise known as an introvert. My friends and family have learned that the best time to call me is email. And you know what's weirder than that message is the fact that I said yes voluntarily. Didn't even have to be bribed with a donut. By the way, the one thing better than a chart that looks like a donut is a donut that looks like a donut. I made that up on the walk up here.
See, look at the faces now. Look
know.
at the faces.
So why did I agree?
Yeah.
This call was with an
He's a
entrepreneur
whole
I had
other
known
level.
and admired for a long time. He was working on a cool AI startup, and I had been obsessed with AI and machine learning for a long time. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but that startup would end up having a major impact on my life, on HubSpot, and as it turns out, the entire human species. The startup was OpenAI, and that
For
entrepreneur
God's sake.
was Sam Altman. I am a big fan of OpenAI. And full disclosure, I'm a small investor in OpenAI. It was a mind-expanding call. But there was one comment from Sam that really stuck with us. He said, AI will progress gradually for a while, and then at some point, we're going to hit a breakthrough, and things will start to move really, really fast. He was totally right. Soon after our call, I reached out to Sam. I emailed him like a proper introvert. And I asked him if I could get access to the GPT API. I got a lightning fast response back. The man is a machine. No, seriously, he actually might be part machine. So now I have access to the GPT API, so I do what any reasonable AI-obsessed developer would do. I started coding. I built a simple chat app and have my first conversation with generative AI. I am in love. I'm just a boy. Sitting in front of a generative pre-trained transformer. Asking it,
I'm just a boy.
That movie.
I know. I'm just a boy.
Weeks and months thinking about GPT.
Is that supposed to be him?
Yes.
Yes. 2022,
that's what makes it so funny.
GPT I fell in love with became a big star known as Chat.
He's hilarious, actually.
Chat GPT is amazing.
Why doesn't he just lead and just open the conference?
Well, he had. That's how it had been.
Yeah. I mean, just go back to that.
ChatGPT is smart, powerful, and makes me a better human, just like my wife, Kirsten. By the way, she has endured multiple practice runs and has heard all 5 of the dad
that
jokes
is
in
red
this
hair.
presentation multiple times and laughed at all of them.
She laughed at dad jokes? Oh my God. Although some are pretty funny. I laugh at dad jokes.
Something even more amazing about it. Yes, it can create things for human consumption, but it's also shockingly good.
Hey, look, notice video, image.
And this was a very big deal because although most of the current excitement around generative AI is about creating things for humans like text or images or video, a lot of the future opportunity is going to be because it can generate code, because that opens up amazing.
That's Alan Trefler earlier this year. What we talking
All right,
about?
so let's look at an example. Here's how pretty much every software application works. There's something you're trying to get done, like building a report, doing something. And to get what you want, you have to go through a very specific series of steps. You point and click and drag and drop and touch and swipe, and then you make a sacrificial offering to the software gods, and then maybe you get the thing you were trying to do. But now with the power of generative AI, we can build natural language interfaces to software. So instead of going through a bunch of these little steps, you can just ask for what you want, type it into a prompt, and boom, it's done. I was super excited about this idea of building a natural language chat UX for HubSpot. So I did what any reasonable AI-obsessed developer would do. I started coding. I called the app ChatSpot. It's like ChatGPT and the HubSpot CRM had a baby. Now, have you ever worked on something all day and then late into the night and you wonder where the sun went? And then it dawns on you?
That was good. That was a good one.
That was me.
I don't think half the audience got it, though.
And we launched ChatSpot on March 6th, exactly 6 months ago. And since then, we've had over 80,000 people chat with it. Now, you can do all sorts of things like company research, keyword analysis, access to HubSpot CRM, and a bunch of other things. I encourage you to check it out at chatspot.ai. There's a session tomorrow morning at 9:30, HubSpot Hero Stage, where there's an actual full team now working on it. It's an exciting demo. I've seen it. It's awesome. By the way, you don't have to be a HubSpot customer to use Chatspot AI. It's free. You don't have to be a HubSpot user. You don't even have to laugh at my dad jokes. It's worth it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the story of how I fell in love with generative AI. Now let's talk about why you, the good people of Inbound, should be enamored with it too. So let's first compare generative AI to some of our previous relationships with technology. When we first got computers, they had an additive impact to our lives. It was human plus computer. And computers provided computation at scale. Then the internet came along, and it was awesome. And it wasn't just about the cat photos. Okay, it was a lot about the cat photos.
Yeah.
But the internet multiplied our capabilities. It was human times the internet. The internet provided information at scale. And now we have generative AI, which has an exponential impact. It's humans to the power of AI. This is not a once in a lifetime thing. This is once in many lifetimes, because generative AI provides cognition at scale. In a way, it does this like a toddler might. A toddler watches us, learns from us, mimics us. The mocking comes a little bit later. What's amazing is that GPT-4 can now ace standardized tests. Most toddlers can't score in the top 10% on the bar exam. Most lawyers can't score in the top 10%.
That's not a good thing
anyway,
necessarily. It's a
So
neutral
I think
thing. It's
for
cool
GPT,
as an
I'm
example,
sure its parents
but
are very
ultimately,
proud.
I don't want to be defended by
But what does
AI
that
in
have
a
to do
law
with
in a
me? What
court
does
of
that have
law.
to
I
do
want a
with my
person
company?
with me, a
Wow.
lawyer,
Yeah,
human.
a
Like-
great lawyer.
Right, exactly.
Put a report
Not
out
something that
they
might
project that
hallucinate in the
generative
middle
AI
of it.
will add
Wow,
more than
look at that.
$2.6 trillion of value annually.
At
That's
least it's
trillion.
identified use cases. Is
Yeah,
where it's
exactly.
coming from.
Other
Thank
letters
God
in the
for
word,
that.
but it's the T that makes the number impressive. And of the 63 use cases they identified, 3 of the top 5 are sales, marketing, customer operations. So generative AI can help us market better, sell better, service customers better. But it's not all donuts and dandelions. There are some red flags in the relationship with generative AI, and we
Thank
should
you.
walk into the relationship with our eyes wide open. Generative AI sometimes has what are called hallucinations. It makes things up, just like some humans. And it says it with 100% confidence, just like some humans. It just doesn't know what it doesn't know, just like some humans. Generative AI also has some other hazards. It can generate responses that are inappropriate, biased, or sometimes even harmful. Now, the good news is that the AI providers have been working really hard on this problem and have made measurable progress.
Just listen to Michael
Still,
Wu,
my advice
folks.
is to keep humans in the loop. When a relationship is moving really, really fast, it's important to invest the time to build trust. And AI is moving really, really fast. So let's look at where this relationship with AI is headed. Turns out I have an inside advantage when it comes to figuring out where AI is headed. No, I don't have Sam Altman on speed dial. I don't have anyone on speed dial.
That's right. I have
What I do
him at
have
speed mail.
is a 12-year-old named Sohan. He lives inside
I remember
my
when
house.
that kid was born. Wow,
He
12
hates
years old.
changing out of his
Is
pajamas.
that really him?
And he loves
sure it is.
all things tech,
He's a cute
including
kid.
AI.
He's a cute kid.
Yeah.
I don't know where he gets it. 3 years ago, I
Look
showed
at the,
him
did you see how tricked out his laptop
he was
was?
in his early 9s.
Would you expect anything less?
No.
Now he uses
That
GPT in
that
more creative ways than I do.
Starfield cover was amazing.
Recently, he showed me a role-playing game he built entirely inside ChatGPT. His
Holy
prompt was
God.
hundreds of words long.
Like father, like son.
So what he was doing is basically giving the computer instructions in what I think will be the most popular programming language on the planet. Not Python,
Prompt.
English.
Mm,
After
nice.
playing this game, I'm like, this is really cool, little dude.
Hmm.
And he's like, no cap, bruh.
Up,
The parents in the room.
froze again. Damn. Right at a funny moment. Uh-oh. It's going to be interesting to see how this records when the recording happens, because I have no idea if I'm the one with the problem or Brent is the one with the problem. So all I see is Brent frozen and a frozen. Okay, now it's coming back. Starting to.
This guy's going, like to do.
Up. Well, Brent went out. So right now, while we're waiting, I'm still of the mind.
Frustrate someone.
Never
Because
mind.
whatever he's
He's back.
It's going to get fixed. Not in days or even years, but in months. So let's look at some of the frustrations. Frustration one. Right now, large language models are static snap based on when training data was taken. That's why ChatGPT, GPT-4, doesn't know things that happened after September 2021. So it doesn't know that Barbie crushed Oppenheimer at the box office. And for someone, 2 years is like a sixth of its life. So that really frustrates him. In the future, we'll see LLMs being augmented in real time to create a more dynamic experience. HubSpot AI systems and CatSpot are examples of this. They combine the power of an LLM with real-time data from the HubSpot CRM.
You're back.
Now, frustration two. Today, when we use AI, we mostly have to enter text as input into the prompt. In the future, we'll also be able to submit images, video, audio, code. If you've ever heard someone say, oh, AI is moving towards this multimodal future, that's what they're talking about.
Yep, I agree there.
Frustration three. AI
We know the
doesn't
output side, it's already there.
until you ask it to do
Multimodal
something.
output,
It sits
but
around
the
passively
input's
waiting for you to
really
type the
interesting.
prompt. In the future, AI will kind of work in the background on your behalf. Now, imagine hearing this message from AI one day. Now, the voice you're about to hear is Dharmesh AI, which is totally not a thing. Listen.
The number of new leads added last week went down 22%. Seems that one of your landing pages was changed recently and the conversion rate went down. Also, I noticed that you don't have a chatbot on that page. You should add one. People are not looking to convert, they're looking to converse.
Mm.
Sounds almost human. A bit awkward at times. So basically, it's
Sounds like he's 20 years younger, too. Froze again. Aside from the clear technical difficulties we're having today, but the one thing that's always apparent, and that's why the co-pilot notion is so important when it comes to thinking about Gen AI, regardless of what circumstance, is that the way he's looking at it, if you think about it, even though it's explicit without being explicit, which is it's human inputs lead to AI outputs, but those human inputs are where you're taking the individual or the group or whatever you're trying to create the output, or whoever you're trying to create the output for, into context. So remember that. Yeah, obviously.
Weird. I don't know. It's just like on one. Okay, now it's back on this other machine, which is where I was doing the share. So let's see if I can.
All
Bring
right.
it back.
I was doing some time filling.
All right.
Sorry,
So-
whoever watches this on clip, you'll never know we had any technical issues, right? But whoever watches this in full, sorry for the technical issues.
Especially our mesh was getting going
Yeah.
there.
He's been great as always, and it's interesting while you're rehooking up. I understand what the CEO was trying to say when she said you're creating for the content for the AI. You're not actually.
Now,
What he's saying is you're creating content that the AI will generate, right? But you're creating content for the customer that the AI will generate. The output will come from the AI.
Right. So it needs to AI. You need to get it to AI, and then it needs to come out of AI.
Right.
Yeah.
But the reality is that's not the content you're creating. Isn't for the AI. You're creating the inputs for the AI.
Right.
Or B2B, and sell a subscription-based
He
product.
just kind of skipped
Notify me
over
by
a couple of
email and
parts
include an
there.
analysis of their business model and pricing. Now the agent goes off and works in the background and delivers on that particular goal. How cool would something like this be? Yes, yes. I think it'd be super cool.
Oh, look at that.
In the future,
So that's
we'll have
the
agent
sign
AIs
for
all
applause.
sorts of things. It is super exciting.
Oh. Oh yeah, I just noticed they changed
They
signer.
changed the signer.
Just so I don't pass out on stage. Slows me down a bit. All right. So, for our final
He
segment,
really
I'd
picked
like
this
to
whole
offer you
thing
some
up.
unsolicited
Totally made a
relationship
difference.
advice.
I mean, it's still not a high energy
The only
audience,
time
though,
you
for
should take
whatever
relationship
reason.
Advice from me is if it's about AI.
But he's making the audience smile.
To do this, we're going to pretend like you, the inbound audience,
Maybe it is higher energy than we're
Darmesh AI, which is
getting
totally not a
giving
thing.
it.
So
hard
here's
to
the prompt
tell.
you might enter. You are co-founder, CTO of HubSpot. You have 30 years of experience in CRM, and you are obsessed with AI. Answer my questions as best you can. As you wish. First question. How should I now be thinking about data in the age of AI? We already have a plethora of AI models, and new ones coming out every week. Falcon, the open source one, came out today, 180 billion parameters, super cool. By the way, I'd like to thank my wife for teaching me the word plethora when we first started dating like 30 years ago. It means a lot.
Wow, he is just
He's really
throwing it.
nailed him.
Again, I bet 2/3 of the audience had no idea what he just did.
Here's an example.
Both of those
Let's
were
say you want
great.
to send a message to an existing customer about a new product.
Those are dad jokes, man. Those are that's two
Customer
dad
platform
jokes.
has the demographic data for
That's
the customer,
perfect.
every web page they visited, every transcript from every sales call, every customer support interaction. You have deep contextual data. Now you take an LLM, pair it with that deep contextual data, and you can write the message that is the most useful.
He's got to be the only CEO I've ever seen who literally builds dad jokes into his
Just like Yamini
team.
talked about,
That's
it's
awesome.
not just personalized,
But it's the
personal.
delivery.
Oh, he's
So it's a bit like understanding.
the most
customers' love
astonishing introvert I think I've ever
What makes
known.
them tick? What do they truly value? By the way, if you haven't read this book yet, I recommend it, especially if you're in a relationship with something other than AI. Now, to truly drive customer love, you need to pair the LLM with a next generation CRM. So the first generation of CRMs were introduced over 30 years ago. They were good. Early cloud CRMs came out 20 years ago, even better. And now we are entering the
24
age
years ago.
of the smart
Right.
CRM. We launched HubSpot CRM at Inbound 2014.
Yep,
Time
9
flies
years
when you're
ago.
having fun.
It's about right.
Today, HubSpot marked the
Batteries
start of the
included.
age of the smart CRM with a CRM that has AI included. We want to democratize this powerful new technology and help millions grow better. Okay, so a few of you are thinking, AI sounds awesome, smart CRM sounds cool, but will AI take my job? You may not ask this question out loud, but a lot of you are thinking it.
It would be so good if it
very common
this-
question, by the way. Here is the most common response you will get.
Yep.
AI won't take your job, but a human using AI will if you're not using AI. I have a different take.
Okay.
AI will take your job. Now, before you take photos and slam me on social media, let me finish. AI will take your job and give
make
you
it
one
better.
That's much better.
I
One
knew
that
it'd be something
involves
like that.
less cranking and more creativity, less grind and more growth. One where you have superpowers with AI assistants and agents. Okay, now you can take a photo and tweet it. Or I guess it's exit now. Exit? Thanks, Elon. All right.
Oh, that one didn't.
let's
That
say-
young woman didn't look too
Now,
happy.
it's like, okay, I get it. Let's do this. What should I do next? Depends on where you are in your AI journey. So I create a simple framework to help you kind of figure that out, figure out what next step is. Phase 1 is awareness and investigation. Figure out what AI can do and try some things out. Phase 2, adoption, integration, optimization. Use AI to get things done. Weave it into your workflows and then look for areas to get leverage. By the way, do you know what old McDonald said when he saw ChatGPT
AI, AIO, get it?
and agents?
AI, AIO.
AI, AIO.
I saw it right away.
That's why I call this the AI, AIO framework. Now, you may be wondering, would I go to the trouble of creating an entire framework just to be able to tell my old McDonald AI joke?
The answer is yes.
Yes.
I knew it. I knew it. I actually do things like that too. I write whole
there's
posts.
Kip Bodner right
jokes.
there.
It really helps to have a
Was
live
that him?
audience.
Yeah.
Like when I try these on Zoom, people don't laugh. Maybe they're not remotely funny.
Whoa, another dad joke.
Look, I'm telling you, the whole mood of the thing has just changed.
Whatever it is you do,
They're not
AI
remotely
can help
funny.
you do it better.
Three dad jokes.
Here's a list of some of the AI tools I use that make me better.
All the credit in
And
the
it's
world
not
go to
just
this
about
man.
being more productive or doing things faster. It's often about pushing open new doors. So let's say you're a developer like me and have always wanted to do some design stuff, or you're a copywriter that wants to launch full campaigns, or you're a salesperson and want to strategize like a CEO. AI can help push the frontier of what's possible for you. If you want to chat about what's possible, we're launching a new community today called AI Adventures. It's on connect.com. Thank you. I'll be hanging out there all week,
AIadventures.com.
answering questions.
AIadventurers.com
Hope to see you there
is
so we
on.
can all learn about
I
AI.
guess the platform is connect.com.
Last
I
question.
guess.
What advice would Ted Lasso give? What would he give me? Tell me about AI.
I like the signer.
I know Ted Lasso.
She's delivering
but I
it
am
like she
guilty of
knows
having
what's
binge
coming.
watched
Yep.
all 3 seasons, twice.
Yeah, I'm with
Here's
him.
what
I
Ted
love that
Lasso
show.
might say. I may not know the first thing about artificial intelligence. I'm not that into those computery things. But I'll tell you what I do know. Change is challenging. And new things can be downright nerve-wracking sometimes. But if it helps you grow better, I say go for it. Because it's not about believing in AI, it's about believing in yourself. Barbecue sauce. Thank you. Thank you. All those are live streaming.
There he is, right in the middle.
Yep, got him.
Oh,
Yep.
and that's what's her name? Katie Burke.
I can't see the. Oh yeah, yeah.
Before we
Holy
go,
God,
I have one
that's
final
you
surprise
want to
for
talk about an old timer?
I created a love song about AI, as one does. Hope you enjoy it. Feel free to tap along, dance along, sing.
It sounds like
but they closed it out while it
That's
was still going on.
Yeah. It sounds like this. Yeah, I guess
It went to
are they running
11:30.
long? Yeah, they stopped
They
right.
went right on time. They just cut the. They didn't let it run long.
That's quite all right.
Yeah, no, that worked. That was fine.
So what'd you think?
Well, I mean, it was mixed. You know, obviously, I mean, some of it was style mixed, but I get where they're going. Okay, and Dharmesh kind of put it in context and in focus, and as I said, to his credit, bringing 3 dad jokes into a speech is pretty amazing. But I mean, contextually, he basically was speaking to the fact, speaking to the idea that AI will help improve, make better, enhance, scale, customize, focus, and ultimately make personal actions that will help customers and others achieve whatever it is they're trying to do. He made that pretty clear. I think, unfortunately, in the beginning, the context, the way, and it was partly the way the speech was clearly written, was it became an over focus on AI almost at the expense of people in the beginning. And it looked, when I say that, I'm obviously going on the strongest build your content to AI. That was the strongest statement of that. And it was poorly stated rather than meant, I think, that way. But I think, unfortunately, that is problematic when they do that. I think, like anything else, there's a lot of what HubSpot announced that was really interesting. I don't think smart CRM is all that unique or new. How they execute will be interesting for me on that, right? More so than the fact that they have it, because so does every other CRM company we're talking to. There's a lot of table stakes. Introduction of HubSpot AI, the introduction of smart CRM and things like that are table stakes, and they're already table stakes. They have been for months. And to everyone's point, the lightning fast movement that people are making with generative AI indicates lightning fast activity necessary at your company in terms of, production of what's needed now to even succeed. So I think they announced a lot of table stakes stuff. I think that the message should have been Dharmesh's message from the very beginning, regardless of who delivered it in this case. I mean, I misspoke when I said the CEO is a bad speaker. It's not that. She had a bad speech, okay? And meaning it was just contextually off, where Dharmesh took everything back to where it belonged. And, well, he's an outstanding speaker, so it's hard to really... I've never seen an introvert who can speak like that.
I know, really.
Right? Never in my life. And so on the whole, I think what HubSpot ultimately did, regardless of their purpose, was in their usual kind of cool fashion, build the or release, or at least announce the necessary table stakes to compete at scale with a lot of the other companies that are out there, because if they didn't have what they announced today, they wouldn't be able to compete, regardless of... And again, as always, even though I can't say I didn't love, and I know you'll dive deeper on this, I didn't love the presentation of the speech, the look and feel, the visuals, the whole... didn't care for it much at all. But on the whole, basically what I heard today was HubSpot's going to compete by making sure they have the table stakes to compete with the big boys and with others. And that's really what I heard, all in all. And I'm glad for it. And I will say the one other last thing is, I'm impressed with how much they've... And this is not even part of what they were talking about, but I am impressed with how much they've done, at least on the Salesforce automation side, for their CRM capability, for the SFA capabilities. Much improved over what it was. And I'll leave it. I don't know about customer service. I saw very little about that.
Oh, yeah. That was the one thing that you really didn't see, which is interesting, because a lot of the kind of the AI stuff that we typically see, at least over the last year or so, the use cases are coming from like the contact center and the agent kind of side of the house, and how the co-pilot is the agent with the AI working in tandem, to help a customer. Whereas, yeah, this is mostly on the front end. It's they talked about the marketing side and the sale. Of course, they're going to talk about the marketing side and the sales side. They really wanted to do a lot of detail with, which I think was really interesting. Wait, are you not hearing me? Okay, or
Oh, I'm hearing you fine. Your your video is running at about a frame every 5 seconds.
wow, that's weird because look for me, I'm looking at 2 computers and they're looking like they're in sync. But anyway,
It doesn't matter.
But yeah, I that's kind of interesting that, well, maybe not as much, but they come from everything from the marketing first perspective, and they chose the sales and marketing connection, I think, to really focus and dig in on versus the service and marketing connection, which we didn't see a whole lot of the service use cases, which is interesting because a lot of the other companies that we talk to, they really focus on the service experience and how AI can help that, particularly that Copilot. Microsoft though is coming out from the sales side too. I think maybe HubSpot looks at this AI opportunity as a way for them to actually kind of leapfrog, in the sales space, and in that regard, kind of, I don't know, get back and really compete in a way that they couldn't compete when it was just more of the traditional table stakes of CRM. It feels to me like they're looking at the AI and the Gen AI as a way to actually not only compete, but maybe even find some ways to take the lead in some aspects, with the AI, whatever you call it, smart CRM or AI kind of stuff, and which is really cool. I think that's a great way to approach it if that's the case, because it does give a company like HubSpot an opportunity to finally kind of catch up and maybe have an opportunity to even get ahead in some regards, because even when we were talking about the CRM stuff the CRM awards, at the enterprise they're still not really making a dent.
No.
But they have an opportunity in the mid market. I know that in the SMB, and going back to what Bob Fernickies said, is that the mid market in the SMB is growing at a higher rate than the enterprise. So even though it's kind of a 50-50 market right now, going forward, it's going to be the mid market and the SMB becoming the biggest space in the CRM pie from the enterprise standpoint. So this is really interesting. It'll be interesting to see if that AI focus, and it's really cool to see Dharmesh continues to be heads down leading when it comes to the new technology. He gets his hands on it. He's not giving it to somebody else. He's still very passionate with this stuff, and it's from there that everything else kind of gets infused throughout the platform. As long as that's the case, I think this is going to be really interesting to look at what they do with CRM and AI going forward.
I agree with you. And, I think it's probably time once again to give a shout out, like a real shout out to Dharmesh. The guy, I don't think people realize, I mean, perhaps they don't realize how much of an impact he's actually had on marketing from the standpoint of the market and the industry as a whole. Inbound marketing its power is because of him, really, and HubSpot's way of execution on inbound originally. I mean, they were, going all the way back, as we well known, aside from their one really, really horrible thing they do, which is root for Boston teams. Right. They have been the pioneer on how to effectively do inbound, not just how to produce products for inbound marketing, but how to actually do it. Oh, right. Yeah. I've never seen a company do it as well as they do. Look, I am not a believer in eating your own dog food. I think that's a ridiculous concept. First of all, humans eating dog food
or drinking your own champagne.
Right. That's the other side, because I don't produce champagne. So, right. So I'm not drinking anything but water in that case. But, because, in those cases, like, why would a company building enterprise tech who's a small business, use their own technology? That'd be stupid. But with Dharmesh, what he did, I think, and what's made HubSpot as brilliant as it is that he already figured out how to do inbound marketing, and then he built the tech to support it, right? So he had figured out how to inbound market, right? And that was, to me, a fantastic way to do it. And the other thing, the last thing I'll say is he is especially, but they are, as a company, regardless of the fact this is not, even with what Dharmesh was talking about, this didn't come across as visionary particularly. It wasn't, right? It was table stakes. And that's great. And it was beautifully presented by Dharmesh. But they are a visionary company. And I've mentioned it a few times throughout the thing. They've created, and I guess they didn't bother to mention, at least today, the HubSpot Creators Hub, which is one of the few experimental networks out there when it comes to how to change content creation and distribution. And it's basically a podcasting network, 100% audio. And to tell you how successful it is, they have built it's, what do they call it? Incubator, right? Which will support your podcast. The only criteria are you have to be on their network. But that's not like, oh my God, I'm stuck on their network. They get more listens to podcasts than TechCrunch does, right? They get millions of listens on their network. So you're also tying into an extraordinary network. And it's visionary because they and Salesforce Plus are the only two so far that are treating things as a actual broadcasting network, right? That are out there, which is aligned with contemporary habits of content consumption. So I want to also shout out there for them, and Dharmesh in particular, for being that kind of visionary, even though that was not what came across today.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, because and I think, people who, the whole podcasting thing is really, the numbers are starting to tilt down. It's not gaining speed. I think video has a lot to do with that, but
yep, I agree.
It's it'll be interesting to see what they do with the podcast network, because and people who want a podcast, let's face it, it's getting harder and harder to build an audience on your own. I think the HubSpot kind of approach, where they are the mothership and they bring other people on for content because they've got the audience. You don't. You might have a really interesting podcast, but how many people are listening to it if it's standalone? So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. And then also how all of that integrates into the mothership, which is the platform. How does that impact, the content creation that they were talking about, so you have the AI stuff, but you also have the human generated stuff. They'll be interesting to see how they pull it all together. But I like the fact that I believe they're looking at this as an opportunity, this moment to actually make a dent in what has been the traditional CRM stranglehold of the big guys. I think with a leader like Dharmesh and with the team that they put together over the years, it'll be interesting to see how they take this moment and are able to do something that could finally break up, the monotony that the big guys have on the CRM thought and the CRM kind of, the ethos, because right now it's still very heavily in the hands of like 3 or 4 companies. HubSpot has a chance to, I think, shake that up. It would be good to see like a company like Pega do something. They've already done something on the platform, but to get into the minds and to get into the ability to kind of shape where the industry goes, there's an opportunity here for companies that did not have it a year ago because of the kind of the seismic shift that's going on.
I think, to your point too, the other place where HubSpot has a interesting, they do something that makes their opportunity greater, is they're very strong tendency to when they kind of reshape something or they do something of substance, to create a community around it.
Yeah.
In fact, as you noted, they announced the community today, on, I think it was around the AI initiatives, right? But it's a
Mhm.
community, right? The HubSpot Creator Hub is a community, really. I call
Shoot,
it
that goes
network.
back to Dharmesh's on startups. That was like separate from HubSpot, but that grew to like millions of people being a
See,
part of it.
there, and again, it's the way they were able to generate. Inbound marketing was always seen as the kind of front end of creating communities, which would keep generating more and more, right? That, I mean, they're really, it's a brilliance that they have.
Yeah.
It's they understand how to create those. I'm using the word in the broadest sense, not in the way we mostly use it nowadays. Social networks, meaning networks of human beings interacting, who are built around a purpose or a cause or a practice.
Hey, it wasn't that long ago where companies were like, or people were like, HubSpot makes a product. We just thought they were a
Yeah.
content.
Right, exactly. So to that point, the announcement at community, which was kind of lost in the overall announcements, is actually important because it's part of the HubSpot DNA to do that, and it always gives them an advantage because they end up with highly dedicated people who are institutionally organized, right? And that, look, it's principles of good organizing have always been do that, and you've got genuine power.
So yeah, I thought, well, once again, just thinking about the actual kind of presentation and format, kind of felt a little like I said, pre-pandemic. It felt like they didn't really take full advantage of the things that happened over the last 4 years that will make people want to watch and keep them riveted. And there were no quick moving kind of, they had that little video montage part, which I thought was good with the customers. But it felt very traditional in the setup, and the audience did not appear to be that into it, really, up until Andy got them involved, to a certain extent. And of course, Dharmesh, I think that is Dharmesh, and they definitely responded to that. But it felt very 2019-ish. There was not a lot of, and I expect that we will see next week at Dreamforce, we'll be able to tell a difference. Let's put it like that.
Oh, I agree with you there. I mean, look, the projected public figure for Dreamforce is 40,000 attendees, right? And it's probably going to be more than that.
Yeah.
So, it also means time to break out your masks again.
Well, I definitely will. But
Me
the other
too.
thing they did, HubSpot said they were expecting about 100,000 people to watch on their YouTube channel.
Well, I
Boy,
guess
that viewing experience, I would love to get the feedback on that, because I don't think we watched it online, and we can't be the only ones that kind of felt like it didn't meet expectations for a company like HubSpot.
Yeah.
The presentation, it just felt like, well, we're just watching, people do what they're going to do at an event, instead of having something that actually made us feel a part of the event, even though we're not there.
You know what we ought to do, to kind of riffing off of your comparative idea? When we're done with this round, when we finally go, I guess Cloud World being the end of this round, we look back over the whole year. I think we were going to do this anyway, but we didn't really do it. And we've done a lot of watch parties this year. So why not take a look at the ones, not the ones that content was best presented, but the ones that had let's call it the visual appeal, the ones that we thought were done the way you're supposed to do one in 2023, and which ones we thought, and let's literally rate them and rank them, right? I mean, I'm a great believer in saying, okay, this was the best and this wasn't.
Right.
Right. So
you mean not just putting them in alphabetical order?
No. So why don't we do that if you're up for it? I mean, you and I talk through, here's the visual element of, here's something that worked, and we just do a little analysis, short little analysis of the ones that we were at, and then we give them the winner is, and let them know, You know, when we'll because it matters. It really matters, right? At this point, because again, we all know the ultimate endpoint of a conference is how you felt at the end of it, not what you heard, right? And that's what's going to provide you with the goodwill or the bad will over the next 12 months to your next one.
Yeah.
So, what do you think?
No, that makes sense. I think because it's. Are we the only ones that have these changed expectations? Because it feels like, you know, the events that we've been to this year, you know, we're full, you know, pretty much we're all open again. So we're fully, although, you know, we're getting hit with another wave of this kind of stuff, but it feels like just so far, generally speaking, and of course we still have 2 more to go. It feels like this year for conferences has been a year of, we're just glad we're back. We're going to stick to our traditional playbook for doing live events, and we'll see what happens after.
Well, I'm willing to do it live and virtual, to be honest, both of them.
No, I mean, I guess live and virtual, but you know, we were hoping that after 3 years of virtual, there is going to be in 3 years of the way people watching and interacting with events being changed because of that. We were hoping that after everything opened up, there would be the lessons taken in and applied to, you know, the events, the live events going forward. I have to say, just generally speaking, not pointing out anything in particular, generally speaking, it feels like it's just been a return to 2019.
I would agree with you 100% on that. I mean, it is fun to see everybody, and that's always been one of the pleasures of it. And certainly, we're not talking about, let's say, the access we were given or the treatment of us as analysts or anything like that. We're just talking about the event as a whole and what we see on stage and what we see in the hallways, and you know, I mean, how it kind of works. And I agree with you. 2019 again. We were treated very nicely in 2019, and we're being treated as analysts now very nicely in 2023. It's nothing to do with that.
No,
not how the AR teams are handling themselves or anything like that. We're talking about if you're a member of the audience, what's it like, right? And I have my favorite already in my head. It was a virtual event, but it was not an in-person event. But I thought it was by far the most 2023 and best thought through, best done in terms of that event. It was smaller than most of them are, but incredibly well done, and basically checked a lot of boxes that almost on a virtual side you never see checked and should be always checked.
So we'll go to the next couple, and then sometime I don't know, October or November or something.
Yeah,
maybe we'll do that because and I think people, event organizers, especially the ones that we go to that are huge for the most part, I do give them a bit of a pass because, you know, coming back after 4 years, you know, a lot of stuff can go wrong, and it makes sense to kind of fall back on what the tried and true to a certain extent.
It's easy,
at least for this year, you know.
Yeah.
So
next year, not so much of a pass.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, next year, you know, once you get past this year, there are no passes because you've got that 1 year of getting back, kind of getting your bearings again. And next year you should be like, okay, how do we take all that's happened into consideration for next year's event? And hopefully we'll see some significant changes. I don't know.
Fingers crossed. But okay, so stay tuned for that sometime in late October, early November, sometime after Cloud World, which for us runs from the October 18th through the 20th. 20th? 21st. Well, we're leaving the 21st. Yeah, 18th through the 20th. So sometime after the 21st, we will do this. So stay tuned, and we'll make it a show. And by the way, there'll also at some point before the year's out, there will be an announcement of the, let's call it I don't want to call it the replacement for the watch list, but let's say the new era of awards.
Yeah,
from
we're
PPN
going we're
and
going
CRM Playaz.
2024-ish and not
Yes, that one.
2019-ish.
That's right. We're going hardcore 2024.
Ooh, all right. And on that note, we will see you tomorrow because
Yeah.
tomorrow is Thursday, although it feels like it should be Wednesday, but
That's right.
tomorrow is Thursday. And you want to tell them who our special guest is?
Oh yeah, this is heart of my heart here. This one. This is when Brent and I were at Dreamforce. Was it last year?
Yeah, just last
Yeah,
year.
it was only last year. We had the opportunity to interview, at the time, the chief medical officer of Salesforce. No, she's doing her own thing right now. Dr. Geeta Nayar. Not only were we blown away by her knowledge of both tech and the health services industry, but also by her professionalism. And also, in a little side thing, while we were setting up, there were some people who walked by and they saw her in the room and they asked to come in the room. And the reason they wanted to come in the room was to tell her how much they enjoyed working for her. That was the only reason they wanted to come in the room, just to let her know.
Yeah, I don't think they had ever met her face to face.
No, they hadn't. But imagine that. So Dr. G is what she's known as, hopefully sometime as Dr. Tech sometime in the future. And we'll get into that, has written a book. And what we're going to do tomorrow is bring her on and we're going to talk about the book and what she's thinking about and where she's thinking of going with all this. And believe me, there's no question that you're going to love this conversation. There is no question. It's absolutely worth it. Find somebody knows what she's talking about, incredibly poised and professional and loved by the people who work for her. Okay, that is literally something we saw all of in the space of hour and a half. Right, we saw all of that in the space of 1.5 hours when we met her last time, and we've been in touch with her ever since. So our friend Dr. G will be on tomorrow. Stay tuned.
And you know what else is going to be coming back tomorrow, right?
The one thing I was happy that we didn't have to deal with today.
Stump the Godfather will be back. Not Stomp, Stump the Godfather.
And who's the sponsor of Stump the Godfather?
Brought to you by Microsoft Dynamics 365 Copilot.
And by the way, all we saw about AI, keep thinking Copilot. Not necessarily Microsoft's in this case, just the idea, Copilot. Copilot, Copilot. That's right. Brent and I are going to be on a campaign starting in 2024. It's getting serious.
One of
no
these
longer
vendors,
going to be Copilot. We're going to make it Wingman.
One of these vendors is going to put out Wingman, and they're going to.
Well, I wonder if they're going to be worried about gender specificity. Wing person? That doesn't work.
You know,
I'm going Wingman. It would be hilarious.
Yeah. Now I feel like having some wings, man.
If my stomach could handle it, I'd eat them too. But.
All right. So we will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
This is not a regular show, so no Minnie. We keep Minnie for regular shows.
That's right. She's our star.
So you'll see her tomorrow. See ya.